Hello everybody. So a couple of years ago, I think like 2 years ago, but I only recently saw it, Mara from Books Like Whoa made a video about the things that she noticed when she was reading Agatha Christie that allowed her to figure out or have a better chance of figuring out who was the killer or who had perpetrated the crime. So I watched the video and I took a few notes, and I have Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I have never read this. I have never seen the movie or any show iteration or anything about it. So I don't know who the killer is, and I'm going to try to use her suggestions to see if I have a better chance of figuring out who the killer is. Now, I am notoriously really bad at figuring out who done it. I read for the vibes, I read for the writing, I read for a sense of coziness and a palate cleanser if I'm reading a cozy mystery, but I don't ever really guess who did it. Sometimes I sort of try to, but for the most part, like, I'm so bad at it that I don't even try sometimes. But this time I'm going to make a concerted effort to try and figure out who done it. So I'm going to make notes. I'm going to have like theories and things like that, and we're gonna see if I am successful, and we're gonna see if her suggestions help me at all. They probably will, because she loves Agatha Christie. She's read so many of her books, or maybe all of her books, I don't know, and we'll see how successful I am.
So think like 20s, 30s maybe. It is more likely that the murderer is male, though it's not. I would say it looks like it's roughly like 60-40, so it's not like over.
Already we have some characters that are sketchy AF. Our maybe main character, who I'm thinking is going to be our victim, super selfish, super sketchy. Do I like say things that are spoilery? This is such an old book, I don't know. And then we have two characters who are mother and son who are suspiciously close, like uncomfortably so. So we're just getting introduced to every character now, and then they are all about to meet in January as they head to Egypt. So we shall see. Pages in, and there is not a murder yet. Who I have not read even the synopsis of this, so I don't know who the murder victim is going to be, but I would bet like everything that it's going to be Lynette Doyle. She is this rich woman who basically stole the fiance of one of her best friends and married him, and now the best friend has basically been following them around everywhere they go. She's there, and she's trying to play this like mind game on them, and obviously so I think she's gonna be the murderer, or she's gonna be the murder victim, and then I think the suspicion is obviously going to be that this woman, Jackie, which is the best friend, is the one who killed her. So we'll see. 184 pages in, Lynette is dead. Jackie shot Lynette's husband and Jackie's ex-fiance in the leg, and then that same night, someone shot Lynette to death in the head, in the same way that Jackie was saying she wished she could. So my theory so far, or my theory leading up to this, was that Jackie and Simon are in on it together, that Simon still loves Jackie, and they created a plan to get all of Lynette's money. So Simon left Jackie, married Lynette. By her dying, he would ideally inherit all of the money, and then I think he and Jackie are going to like, you know, run away together and be together again, whatever. And then I think that the reason that Jackie shot him was so that she could then act crazy and someone had to be with her all night, so then she would have an alibi all night. I don't know, I think they've said that Simon couldn't do it also because he was given morphine and he was like out for the night. So I don't know if my theory will hold up. But occupations, we have a writer, doctor, businessman, a lawyer. Some motives may be money and jealousy. So I don't know. We'll see. So in addition to Lynette being murdered, her pearls were stolen. And I think that's going to be a separate crime, unrelated to the murder, because I think it is being used as like a red herring. I think it's a distraction. And I think that Tim has something to do with it, along with Joanna, who is Tim's cousin. Tim is an attendee or a guest in the cruise. He knows Joanna. He's cousins with Joanna, who is friends with Lynette. And so at the beginning of the book, you see her hang out with Lynette, and Lynette makes this big deal about her pearls, and she asks to wear them. So I think Joanne keeps being brought up, even though she's not a guest at the cruise, which makes me think that she has something to do with the pearls. And Tim, her connection to Tim, like he keeps kind of downplaying it. He's there with his mom, and she keeps bringing her up and being like, oh, is there something going on between you two, blah, blah, blah. And he keeps downplaying it and being like, you don't know what you're talking about, like, blah, 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 nothing's going on. So that makes me think that he will probably have something to do with that. I am still thinking that Simon and Jackie are the ones that have to do with the murder, because so I'm thinking back about what Mara said about how you shouldn't ever trust timelines, and every time they're given to you they're false, or like every time something is said to be like an impossibility, it isn't. And so the book keeps reiterating how neither Simon nor Jackie could have done it, because both of them were like indisposed. Simon was injured and like was given the medicine, and then Jackie had been accompanied by someone the whole time. But Simon made like a big deal about Jackie being accompanied the whole night, which makes me think that he was trying to give her like the perfect alibi. So I mean, he's supposed to have like a broken leg and couldn't have moved around. So I don't know if like someone else is helping them. Like, I don't trust Pennington, and you'll see, I might have shown you in my clip of like my notes. I don't trust Pennington, who's like an American businessman. So I don't know if he has anything to do with it. We shall see. Hello everybody. So I finished the book last night and I was right. Sort of. I feel like I was right in different instances. So I was right that the robbery was a completely unrelated crime. I was right that Joanna had something to do with it. I was right that Tim had something to do with it. I was right about Simon and Jackie being the perpetrators, which is the victim's friend and the victim's husband, who was also the ex-fiance of the victim's friend. So yeah, I was right that they still loved each other and they wanted to get Lynette's money, and so they knew that by killing Lynette, her money would go to Simon as her husband, and then after a while they could go off and like get married. But of course, Hercule Poirot figures it all out. I was wrong about there being a third person. The Pennington guy, who is the American businessman who took care of Lynette's affairs in America, did want to kill her because he thought that Simon would be an easier person to control, which is true. Like, Simon would be the type of person that is described in the book as like just like signing papers without reading them and just trusting that people have good intentions. And so there was an instance where Lynette almost died before she actually died, that people thought was an accident, but I didn't really think was an accident, and I don't think Hercule thought was an accident either. So he was responsible for that one. So that's cool. I'm excited to, and honestly, like, I don't know if it's just that because I was actively trying to solve it with these sort of guidelines, I just paid more attention, and so was just better at solving it. Like, if I just read all mystery books this way and like took notes and stuff, maybe I could solve more of them. I mean, I could, that could be an interesting project to see if maybe I just haven't been reading that. Like, I've just been reading them more for like vibes and just to like be told a story rather than a sort of active participant in the story. So we'll have to see if maybe with some upcoming mysteries I can try to do this as well, and maybe I will be successful at solving them too, somewhat. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed my time with it. I would give it about a 4 out of 5. Obviously, of course, as always with Agatha Christie, there are many sort of sentiments that no longer really hold up. So, you know, in some aspects, in the sort of social aspects, these have not aged well, but in the sense of storytelling and mystery and, you know, the sort of funny breaking the fourth wall thing where Poirot basically admits that his mysteries are always kind of like overly complicated, is funny, you know. So yeah, I would recommend this if you are a Christie fan and somehow haven't read this, like I hadn't read this yet, or if you just like mysteries, I would recommend. So yeah, thanks for watching and for listening. Thank you, Mara, for all of your suggestions, and as always, love you. See you all in the next one.